it's like a summer drink. I could literally have a pool party, be out on the beach where they allow drinking, and have these like just non-stop and just feel freaking great. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of BeerTv. Today we're going to be doing another beverage from Towns Ciderhouse. Now, it's easy to say that Towns likes their names. I mean, you have their company name, Towns, from the two owners living in two different towns. You're going to have their Ginger Ninja, which has ginger root in it. You've got the Caught in the Act, which is from apricot. And today's beverage, we have the Made Marion. So this beverage is made from Marion berries, which you were telling me is the queen of
blackberries.
Queen of blackberries.
Exclusive to Oregon, so it's gonna have that blackberry taste, a little more tart, but it's essentially the queen of blackberries.
Exactly. Now, what he just said, saying that it was exclusive to Oregon, is how they got this name. So it's basically the two breeds of blackberries came together, and I learned all of this from Scott Bungie, their marketing director up there. Sorry if I totally just butchered your name. Basically, so the way they came up with the name, they were like, okay, well, it's made in Oregon, but it was made in Marion County. So they're like, well, what if it was made in Marion? They're like, well, let's mess around with this. Made in Marion, and sooner or later, it came to be Made Marion, which is just, I think that's completely awesome the way they came up with that.
This cider's gonna come in at 6% ABV.
That's pretty good for a cider, to be honest. Well, you know, let's get cracking these. So, as you guys can see, today we're actually using cans instead of the normal bottles that we have. They are moving to cans. They have their Outsider, the Bright Cider, the Ginger Ninja, and then obviously the one that we have now are all going to be available in cans. So be looking out for those at all of the big beverage chains out there. Now we're going to be moving on to the aroma of the cider, which is going to be out of 12. Devin, what are you getting?
I'm getting slight apple and also getting some red berries.
It's probably the Marion berries that you're getting.
That's actually right.
Being that we're not in Oregon, I can't really just pull out a Marion berry and compare it to it.
Mm-hmm. What are you getting? You getting some strong apple or getting the Marion berry first?
Personally, I'm getting that berry, the berry smell, that berry aroma kind of hops out to me a little bit more than the apple does. The apple's there, but I kind of see it as maybe like a 75%, 25%.
It's not as strong.
It's not as strong as I thought it would be, especially when comparing it to their other two ciders, which we've done, the Bright Cider and the Bad Apple, which I think hop out a little bit more.
Yeah, agreed. Out of 12 for the aroma, what are you going to give it?
Out of 12, you know, I'm going to give it a 10. I kind of thought there was going to be more of an apple smell, and I kind of thought it was supposed to be about 50-50.
I completely agree. It's 10 out of 12 for that. I expected a 50-50.
We're starting off good. We're all the same.
Moving on to the appearance of the cider, it's going to be out of 3. What are we getting color-wise to start off?
You know, right off the bat, dude, I know it's kind of weird, but it kind of looks like a glass of blood to me.
That sounds appetizing.
Yeah, very appetizing. I mean, it also kind of looks like a Pinot Noir for those of you who are like wine people out there, which is kind of funny because the last two videos we've done, being the Bad Apple and the Bright Cider, they both kind of look like wines. They look like champagnes or white wines, which kind of maybe could help bridge the gap from wine people to ciders and bring them back home to the craft beer people. So if you're a Wine Library TV fan, why don't you hop over to a real beverage over here.
And it totally makes sense with your wine analogy, because wines are made with grapes, and you have your ciders made with apples. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're both fruits, so it's not much of a bridge. You need a gap there.
Real close to each other.
Yeah.
So out of 3,
nothing's wrong with this. Looks beautiful. 3 out of 3.
3 out of 3 as well. It honestly looks the best of the 3 beverages that we've had for them so far. I just want to dive into it already. Alright guys, now time for the favorite part of the show. We're going to be moving on to the flavor. Devin, what do you get?
I'm still getting those Marion berries, but the apple comes out a little bit more for me. The aroma had that weak apple aroma, but now it has a little bit more of an apple flavor.
Wow. Okay, so it's, to me, it's like berries, a little bit of apple, and then like a sour apple to like for like the finish.
It's very tart. It has that tartness.
Yeah, not sour, but more on the tart side.
It has this drying out quality we'll get to later in the mouthfeel, but that was interesting. We'll touch on that in a moment. The flavors, though, this is surprisingly...
I love how sweet it is. Like how sweet the berries are in being that Marionberry. I really want to go get some Marionberries and like make a pie out of it now because I think that would be absolute killer.
I see why, because a lot of people, instead of blackberry for like a blackberry pie, they'll use Marionberries instead. I get why Marionberries are called the queen of blackberries. This is delicious. That's blackberry.
Bomb. Just like the other two ciders, I know I keep comparing everything back to them. It's like a summer drink.
Yeah.
I could literally have a pool party, be out on the beach where they allow drinking, and have these like just non-stop and feel freaking great. Super crisp. We'll get onto more of that kind of stuff when we get into the mouthfeel, like you were saying. Out of 20, I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna do like a 17 out of 20. I liked the apple to it. I thought the apple was gonna come out a little bit more, like a 50-50, like I said, for the aroma.
Fair enough. 18 for me. Delicious.
Pretty good.
Moving on, we have the mouthfeel decider. It's going to be out of 5. We talked a little bit earlier about the tartness and had that dry sensation.
Now I'm gonna hop onto the crisp aspect first, and then come back to that dry. Like we said, for almost every single cider we've done on the show, it is crisp, and I just want to have it in the summer. I think it's a perfect summer drink. It has that really good. There's not really too much to talk about, but it's crisp.
Refreshing.
Yeah, refreshing. Moving on to that dry aspect of it, if you've ever licked like a 3x5 note card or piece of paper before, that's really what it is. Now, what's that called? What that is called is tannin. Now, Devin's going to go a little bit more in depth about that for us.
So, tannins are found in a variety of things. One specific thing is the fruit skin. So, we're talking grapes, acai berries, pomegranates. Those are high in tannins.
Okay.
That tannic is a texture that is provided usually in a beverage. It could be a tannic wine from the grapes, or in our case, a tannic cider, which kind of dries out the palate, dries out your tongue, makes it feel like you just licked 3x5 note card, brown paper bag, you name it.
Now, when we were talking to Adrian when we picked up these beverages, he was telling us that they have kind of like a special opportunity to get these apples that nobody has the ability to get, and a specific apple that you use only really for ciders. And I think using those might have that tannin effect kind of hop out a little bit more, because if that's what the thing is doing, I don't know if I'd want to bite into an apple that's going to make it that tart in my mouth, that dry.
They're probably specific for making ciders, and they even have more specific cider apples.
Yes,
so they've
100%.
gone a step further. That's why their product tastes
so freaking good. 100%.
out
what
of
are you
5.
gonna do?
Mouthfeel, 4 out of 5.
I'm gonna do 4 out of 5 as well. I didn't really like that drying too much, even though I think that's supposed to be part of the drink. Alright guys, now we're going to be moving on to the last part of the rating, which is going to be the overall impression. Devin, why don't you kick us off?
So a lot of people would probably start off and go, hey, I didn't like how dry this was, how tannic it was. That is a part of this category, that it's a fruit blended cider. So I like that. I would have liked if it was a little more carbonated in a sense. Not overly carbonated, but a little more of that carbonated sweetness that you start off with. Because it goes from that crisp carbonation.
Basically boosts up the effervescence in it.
Yeah, you start with that crisp carbonation, goes into the sweetness, but then that tannic kind of takes over.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. How about you?
For me, the thing that I think they could have done better on is probably move the apple to berry ratio a little bit closer to each other. Instead of having the apple be down here and the berry be up here, even though I love it, I think that for the category, it should be a little bit higher, closer to 50-50 ratio. I did say that I didn't like that tannic too much, even though, so it's supposed to be there, it's supposed to be almost like a significant factor. And I think that I agree with you on the point that if there was more of a carbonation factor in there, it wouldn't be so overpowering.
Overpowering is exactly the word. Overwhelming, overpowering.
Yeah.
It just kind of played the main role. The main aspects we had of this was the Marion berries, and it had that tartness and the dryness.
Yeah.
So a little more of that balance would have been nice. Out of 10, what are you gonna give it?
Out of 10, I'm gonna give it an 8, which is gonna leave my total score with a 42.
And I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, leaving me with a 44 out of 50.
So honestly, 42 and 44, very good scores for a cider. If you guys are watching this video right now via YouTube, Twitter, or anything, let us know what you think your overall impression is, what you'd like about it, and basically, just do the whole rating yourself. The next thing that we're going to be moving on to is going to be the pairings. Now, being a berry and being sweeter, what are we going to be doing with? What are we going to be pairing?
You could deal with a lot of different berry dishes. You could do a raspberry bar. You can do a rhubarb pie. You're going to be dessert focused because you're going to want to match the cider's sweetness.
Very true. All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to go bake up what we have pairing for us today, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, now that our BeerTv pairing is done and out of the oven, let's pull it on out and give it a try with this cider. What we have today is a blueberry crumble cake. Devin's diving in right now. Let's see once he gets a little sip of this, how it is going to pair with, you know, the sweetness of the Marion berries and the blueberry.
So the blueberries, in comparison to the blackberries, they're a little more sweet. You have that syrupy glaze on the top of this crumble cake, and the sweetness really contrasts that tartness and that drying out quality. I'm not getting as much of that drying out quality from this cider as I had previously without the food pairing.
I don't get it at all. It's almost like it's completely gone. And like you said, the sweetness of the berries with the blueberries, they kind of match together to make a very good flavor with that syrupy, kind of like sugary aspect of the crumble cake. This is bomb. This is definitely like, you know, I've had a good dinner and I'm looking to get a dessert, and I get this with the Made Marion. Boom, my evening is made. Like, this is freaking good.
It's very delicious.
All right, guys, remember to like and subscribe down low. It really helps us be able to continue to make this show. Be sure to tweet at us if you have these drinks or any other. Hit us up on Facebook. Let us know, follow us on Instagram so we can talk, we'll chat and stuff. If you have had any of our beverages, or if you have a beverage out there that you really want us to do, let us know in the comment section down below so we can find it, do it, and then make you guys happy. Thanks for watching another episode of BeerTv. Thanks again to Towns Ciderhouse. Cheers. So what we have is a blueberry crumble cake. So I thought you were going to eat a little bit faster.
Yeah, the fork was in my pocket, I got stuck.
Something sweet, and for our BeerTv pairing, we're actually going to have cinnamon rolls with candied pecans on top. Now, obviously cinnamon and apple are going to go to it. I mean,